Welcome to Speaking Of. I'm Jared.
I'm Kate.
So lately, a lot of things have been driving me nuts.
Like what? Oh my gosh.
Everything has been driving me nuts. What has been driving you nuts?
Besides you. Wow. Okay, speaking of driving. So, I was out with my friend Laura the other day.
Now wait, is
Laura?
Okay, yeah, I know who
Yes.
Laura is.
Okay.
Okay, continue.
So, we were talking about, we were talking about school things. You know, she's starting college, and so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't want to talk
We
about that.
won't talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, it gets worse, but you're not going to like this story at all.
Oh,
Okay.
I already see things happening. I
So-
see rings.
No,
Just
no.
kidding. Okay.
No. Calm yourself.
Calm my pits, Becca.
Yes, please. So we were talking about the high school, and she had sent a letter into.
Now, did she go to our old high school?
Yes.
Okay.
So she had sent a letter into one of the district or the representative people or whatever, who happens to be Rick Bojack,
Oh,
who happens to have been at the school when we went there plenty years ago.
yes. Now let's give a little backstory about Rick Bojack before Kate continues her story. He is missing a finger. Why? Because he dropped a 45-pound or a weight plate on it. Now, I'm all for you can lose your grip on things, but come on. Okay, continue.
Gives new meaning to the phrase "get a grip." Had to do it. So she
We're not going to
mentions.
get in trouble for using his full name, are we? I don't care, actually.
No offense, Mr. Bojack, but so when she said that, I was like, oh yeah, I remember, he was there when I was there, and I'm like, wow. And so then she started listing off other coaches that are still there, namely Price,
No, really?
Cowan,
What is he? What?
and to which she said that he's been there for 60 years.
Okay, so.
Now, here's my problem.
All right.
These are the people who are teaching our teenagers how to drive.
No, that's what I was just about to ask. Says they were
So-
teaching driver's ed when we were there, and I had
So this is my point.
I had Price actually.
I think I did too. And so that is my point, that there is a reason that Utah drivers are the worst drivers, because they're being taught how to drive by ancient football coaches. Do the math.
Well, my issue is okay, and I'm sorry. We're all going to get old, and I'll just preface this before, but the reaction time of hitting that emergency brake. But this also leads me to another point. Was I'm in education, and there was another teacher by the name of Mr. Farr at West Jordan Middle. When I returned to work at West Jordan Middle, he was still working there. Now, he is a nice, pleasant old man. You couldn't ask for a nicer gentleman. However, he did not look healthy.
You know who that reminds me of?
Oh, no.
And I have no idea how long she had been at the school. And I don't even know if she's still alive.
Well, it's not bad enough that we're speaking ill of the living.
I know.
Now
why-
let us speak ill of the dead.
Why stop there? I won't even say her name, but if she wasn't old, she sure looked old, bless her heart. And she wore these outfits that
I know who it is.
looked like they were made of tinfoil or something.
She
like the gold
dressed
and the...
like an 80s diva.
She did.
And she
That
was
is
a
actually
nice,
so
and I'm
true.
going to even go a little bit further. She was a nice, pleasant, white, Caucasian, pasty woman that looked like she was Tina Turner.
A little bit. Here was my beef with her. Okay, not only did she, you couldn't really read her writing very well, right? A. B, she lost assignments all the time.
I've got a story for that.
Worst of all, she had us do a 40-page report on a country. Now, being the daughter of a school teacher
She didn't read
myself,
any of it.
I did not just copy and paste, but I had to fill 40 freaking pages. She did not read any of it.
Well, and
I'm still bitter about
do you
that.
want to know why she didn't read any of
'Cause she
it?
couldn't?
This story gets better. I was her student aide in the 8th grade because I went.
And why weren't we friends yet so that you could have helped me out?
I don't know.
A+.
Well, the horrible thing to this story is, guess who did the grades? It was me.
Then why didn't I do better? You know what? That's worse.
I did.
That is worse. You know what? Remember the end of that Mika video? This is why you didn't kick down my blocks. It's because you didn't give me a good
I
grade.
failed her in English.
You of
No,
all people,
yeah,
please.
it was scary. So the moral of this story is retirement laws need to be enforced.
Oh my gosh.
So speaking of retirement,
I'd
well,
like
not
to.
retirement, but
Oh.
older people.
Don't get me excited like that.
I know. Older,
Speaking of older retirement people.
older people,
Jared
older
wants
people
to
that
live-
should. I want to be
He
retired.
wants to- we were driving and we see this complex and it looks nice and Jared immediately is like, I want to live there.
It looks like a castle.
To what do I have to tell him? It's 55 and older. And he's like, and I said, it's an active community. Oh,
Oh
rats.
no way! Yeah.
I'm out.
Even when I'm
I
55,
can
I
fake
won't be
the
having
55
nothing.
thing, but the active, meh.
No. So this
You
gentleman.
and Beverly both.
Oh, I sense it's another story, but anyway.
Not really.
So yes, so people that should not be in retirement is Robin Williams. So his new show, The Crazy Ones.
Oh, I see, because he should be working because
he should be
does
working.
A good job.
He should always be working. Exactly.
Hear that, Robin? Get to work.
Chop chop. So yes, The
Slave
Crazy
driver.
Ones, or as I like to call it, the Mork and Buffy show.
Wow.
Sarah Michelle Gellar plays his daughter. So this is what made. I was reading a review that made me think of us. So this initial review is, the show is really good, but I wasn't sure when to laugh.
That's never really a problem for us, is it?
So yes,
Because we don't
and
care.
So the reviewer goes on to say that not only did he not know when to laugh, but he wasn't sure if it was funny. But certain parts were funny, but it's supposed to be funny because it has Robin Williams in it. So I couldn't help though but to think of us, because it reminds me of every time that we see a review that somebody doesn't think something's funny, it's usually because the humor is over their head.
They don't get it. And
And-
that's why people like the lame potty humor stuff, because it's easy. There's nothing clever about it.
Right.
That's my problem with Two Broke Girls lately. They used to be much more clever about their humor, but now it's all.
And I really miss Two
not.
Broke Girls, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest, because they're starting up as well, and the premiere is all up, and I'm like, I want to go back to that show, but
It's just not.
I'm
Because they're not
afraid.
clever anymore. Be smart.
Yes,
on.
and
We don't need
it's
another
sad because
2.5
I
men.
enjoy all of the actresses and actors
Mm-hmm.
on that show, and they all do a really good job. But
The
speaking of 2.5 Men,
oops.
you heard that the Half Man is not returning this season.
I did not hear that. I
Okay.
really don't follow it. I'm
Well,
not ashamed
because
to say.
you're saying, you're upset by what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. Well, apparently so was he.
Well, there was not too long ago, last year maybe, that he had like tweeted something or whatever,
right,
saying that he
and-
was don't watch it, it's filth horrible, whatever, and then he retracted
Right.
that, but clearly only long enough to finish his contract. What are you gonna do?
You do what you gotta do. So yes, so they've hired a young woman to come on and be
Is-
the Half Man.
Is
Who is?
that
Do you remember
why,
who it is?
No, I recognized her.
It's Amber. I want to say it's Amber Tamblyn, but that doesn't seem right. The name.
But I
doesn't.
remember, yeah, I saw the commercial where Charlie has a daughter, and that must be why.
Oh, that's right, and that's how they're working it in.
Uh-huh.
So not only have they gone to potty humor, but now they're
Swapping out kids.
scary.
Well, at least
stuff.
they're not. At least they're not swapping him out with a girl and then trying to do the Roseanne thing where they pretend like nothing's different.
You know what though I liked about that Roseanne episode? Do you remember the very end where they're doing
Yeah.
it and they're all sitting around watching an episode of Bewitched? And the new Becky,
right.
who was played by Sarah Chalk, and the line was just delivered perfectly. So they're watching Bewitched, and the new Darren's on, and everybody, the family's like, I just don't like the new Darren. And it goes through, and of course, Becky at the end, I really like the new Darren. But the funny thing is about that show too is their last season, they had the original Becky back and the new Becky back, and they would just swap like you weren't supposed to notice, like in one episode.
I have an understudy. Like,
Yes, so
wow. You
That
know what
was
that
funny.
makes me think of? Speaking of swapping people out. Not really. Not really swapping people out.
I'm
but
just glad she didn't say swapping spit or
really? We're in 4th grade now? We're done with
Yes,
that
I'm trying to
conversation.
shoot for 2.5 Men.
Anyway, so you're talking about them swapping back and forth, and it makes me think of twins, right? Which, speaking of twins, makes me think of this dream that I had not too
If
long
you're not
ago.
on Ritalin from watching this show, you will be
be.
soon.
I dreamed that, now everyone knows I have crazy vivid dreams. I wake up exhausted every day. This morning not this morning, but this particular morning.
Right.
Speaking of this morning,
Choose one thought and go with it.
when I was in elementary school, I used to write it the morning.
With the S? Oh,
yes,
wow.
The morning.
I got it now.
Anyway, this particular morning I woke up not only exhausted but also traumatized. Why? Because I had a dream that I was going through a photo album of me as an infant, and there was another infant with me. And I was like, who's this? So I go to my father and I say, Dad, who's this other baby girl in this picture with me? To which he says, oh, well, you used to have a twin, but she died when she was like 6 months old. And I'm thinking, so my first thought is, this is the first I'm hearing of this? So then I go to my mother and I'm like, Mom, what's the story? I've got a twin? What? She's like, oh yeah, you had a twin, but she died when she was like 4. Okay, now the stories don't even match up. Never mind the fact that I've got older brothers. Surely they would have remembered a second baby. No one's brought it up until now. So then my mom gives me this locket that apparently the other baby had or whatever. And then all these pictures of meeting this other
Here's
kid.
a memento.
Yeah, like, here's your dead sister's necklace. Look at these pictures we've been hiding for you from 30 years. What? Really? Really?
Well, sadly, my dad has done that to me in real life. It hasn't been a dream. He started doing it to me when I was about 12 or 13. Have you ever felt like you had a twin? And so he would say things like that, and then like time would go by, 6 months, a year. So, have you seen yourself in the crowd lately?
That was
thought
me.
he was hilarious. He probably was. We forgot to mention she's a girl.
Wow.
So at least yours was only a dream.
I guess. I mean, it
no
reminds
wonder
me
I'm
of...
the way I am.
There's a lot of reasons for that. It reminds me of Stephen Wright, who would say that, you know, he wants to push his kid around and be like, well, you used to have a twin, but he didn't listen. Or have the two-person stroller with only one in it. Have you seen my kid? He looks just like this one. It could be fun.
It could be.
I'm just saying.
You know what I should do? I should see if we can find him. I used to work with a guy that looked a lot like me.
That's right.
And Kate never met him.
Yeah, because he was kind of a snuffleupagus at that day.
He was kind of. But he was enough that if we went places together, like I will never forget going to this fast food restaurant for lunch one day and people doing double takes.
Right.
So,
Which is kind of dumb because what, you've never seen twins before?
well, exactly. And yeah. So RC Callahan, if you are out there,
RC Cola.
yes. Drop us a line via a comment of Facebook, one of the twits, whatever.
There's only one twit.
Oh.
Pigeons are nice too. I'm just throwing that out there. Can I just say, this has nothing to do with anything, but I just have to say, okay, this is why. Speaking of pigeons.
We should have Alexis on to do the pigeon dance.
Oh, we should.
We should.
Alexis, please
Alexis,
come do the pigeon
yes.
dance with us. Anyway, speaking of
teach us
pigeons,
how.
apparently my place of employment recently had a commercial that had to do with pigeons. When commercials reminded me of this commercial that I saw before a video that I watched of somebody else's. Anyway, it was a Skittles commercial and it was hilarious. So,
Would you like to tell them which Skittles commercial to look
yes,
for?
it's the one. I don't know. Well, I say I don't know if you've seen it. Most people probably have. But here's what happens. So these two girls are talking, and there's a boy over there, and they're like, "Oh, poor so and so. He never smiles." And so the girl walks over to him, and she taps him on the shoulder, and he turns to her. and smiles, and all of his teeth are Skittles. So she grabs him and she kisses him and she pulls away and he smiles
See,
and
you're licking my teeth like I have something in them now.
he smiles and most of his teeth are gone. She's chewing on the Skittles. It was hysterical.
Wow. I will have to look for that one. Well, since there is no way that we can possibly top that story, I think
Well, I actually could top that story, but I won't.
you're going to have to wait till next time. So, I'm Jared.
I'm Kate.
We'll see you next time.
If you're lucky. Hi, don't forget to join us this Friday for more Comic-Con episodes. We're going to start out with, well, I don't know if we're going to start out with, but you're going to get to see Jared's new possible job opportunity.
And it is a good job opportunity. You're also going to see us talk to Gandalf and company.
Yes, wizards galore.
Yes.
And my friend Stephanie Seeley will be very impressed to know that we are having a lovely conversation with one Noah Hathaway.
Look at what you see.
Atreyu is waiting. Come watch us on Friday.
Come join us.